hoping your Christmas and New Year went pretty well. I mean, mine did. Not all my expectations, of course, were were established, But then again, we're all alive now, so that's something. I think that counts pretty much. So, without wasting much of your time, this is Wednesday, the third day of the new year. So we're still hopeful, right? Something cool could happen. I want us to reminisce back. I mean, remember those days in class when they would ask a question. I mean, like for those of us who have once been geniuses too in class. When I mean geniuses, I mean at certain aspects or subjects. I don't expect everybody to be that good in every subject academically, although it happens. It happens. There was a time I was the alpha, I was the A dog in every academical subject in school. I mean, not bragging, but I was that good academically to the point that during tests I could literally give my papers to someone else and they'll write it for me, and not even the proprietor would question me because they know, in fact, there's more chance of me eh, of me getting higher marks when I write it myself or than when I give it to somebody. So they know that I'm not trying to solicit someone's help academically when I give them my book. Sometimes I just feel lazy and bored, but because they have trusted my intelligence in school, yeah. So that but right now I'm talking about like to those of you who were once expert in a certain subject and that class was taking place at that moment. But we have these days when in one of those days too in school where we would feel we don't really feel like expressing ourselves, especially during pop quizzes when questions are being asked and we know the answers to these kind of things. Instead of us to shine, and chop our glory in class, we just had for some reason, or maybe most times it's anxieties, it happens to the best of us, and then we don't really want to answer. For example, it could be like, okay, the first question, it may be something but not every other person knows. I'm just citing an example. They could be like, what are the pain receptors in the body code, and then you'll be like, you and your pals, like, yo, maybe your name is Paul. Yo, Paul, say this thing. You know it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to say that. Come on, say it. Okay, but you know the answer, right? And you're like, yeah, I think it's called. Is it not pain receptors, nociceptors, right? Say it now, and then someone else, Shadi, raises her hand. That was a big girl. I'm like, okay, Shadi, what is the answer to the question? And she just stands up. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. Uncle, the answer to the question you asked, what are pain receptors? They are called nociceptors, sir. And your guys are like, yo, Paul, you knew it, you should have said it. And Paul is now beginning to, rise above his anxieties little by little. Then they ask another question. Okay, so where does the processing of bodily chemicals take place in the body? And you're like, processing of bodily chemicals, Paul, you should know it. And Paul is like, I think it's the liver. Paul, say it out. And Paul is still, although he's rising out of the anxiety, but the anxiety is still holding him down. And he's like, I don't want to stand up, Jerry. I don't want everybody to look at me, but it's the liver. Same Shadi again stands up, Vasabi. Sir, the answer is the liver. And like, clap for her, brilliant girl, that. And then they now ask, so simple a question, like so simple. And like, okay, general question, who can tell us the president of the country currently? Assuming we are in 2024 as at that time in class. Paul now wants to show that him too, he knows it. He now stands up, and for some reason, he now says Muhammadu Buhari, and everybody is laughing. And he's just like, "Who is that dummy? Who is that idiot? Who is that person that will never make it?" And everybody says, "It's Paul." Even your friends who were trying to rise you out of that, who were trying to rise you like an edifice out of that anxiety, will now join them and bring you back to the level where you started from. So in the next class, even when you know it as you did previously, because anxiety has overshadowed you and you could not express yourself in the right time to actually let the whole people know that you are knowledgeable and wise, you now end up fumbling when you ought not to. Now Shade has gotten the best part of you. Shade will forever be the Vasabi but academically brilliant girl, and Paul will be forever the boy that cannot make it according to the teacher. It happened to me a lot of times. So anxiety is not a joke. I had to learn to rise out of it though. But most of the time I was the one who was giving people anxieties. I mean, I loved to show how much I knew. Like every subject, I would stand up and be that shady in the class. But there were times too I had my days, we're all humans, whereby I knew three questions, and just when I was about to express myself with the fourth question, I ended up looking like a dummy. Alright, so I'm getting sweaty because they've taken my light. But share with the comments your opinion or your own experience in school. Believe me, we all had our days in school, so anxiety no be anybody.